Hey guys, what is up? And Shadolance back for another review. Today I'm going to be doing my second Galil Ace review. I did this review a while ago, and the review actually is not outdated at all, so I will be reposting it if I haven't already. I think I may have actually already reposted it. But I talked quite well about this gun, and I'm going to do so again. I still quite enjoyed this weapon, although I do feel like the recoil is heftier than I remembered it, even though I do have my reflex scope on, so yeah, that person didn't really think that through very well. You always want to look down the ladder before you start climbing down it, but whew. Going into the gun now, we have a damage of 43, a portability of 55, a rate of fire of 70, an accuracy of 86, and a recoil of 67. It has the ammo capacity 30 of 90, which is standard. It is unlocked at Second Lieutenant 2. Firing modes include automatic and burst fire. There is no single fire on this weapon, and no double fire if you... I actually feel like a double fire might actually be pretty good on this weapon, believe it or not, but... Customization can include a suppressor, a scope, and a magazine. It is not customizable in the Gun Emporium as far as I know. I don't believe it's customizable in the Gun Emporium. I kind of thought I tried that. I do remember trying to do that, but the spread actually seems rather small. I want to say that right off the bat. I feel like the spread is quite tiny for the actual amount of damage this gun does. 43 damage is quite high. That is on par with the DSR. Yeah, this is an 100 damage gun, guys. Please use this and get one-shot kills across the kill creek. But anyway, across the kill creek with the one-shot gun. But no. It's a 43 damage gun, which is quite high. That's about AK-47 high. Not quite that high, but, you know, it's quite a powerful gun, let's just put it that way. To be honest, I was surprised when they first released this gun into Combat Arms, because I have seen the Galil Ace in many other games, from Counter-Strike to, Uncharted, and I've seen it in just a myriad of games. I've seen it in some Ghost Recon games, and it has never looked like this to me. This gun looks like an SMG. It does not look like an assault rifle at all. In fact, it looks like it may have taken off of the Saiga shotgun model if you look at the actual look of the gun, and I was surprised. It doesn't look like a Galil Ace at all. Maybe the ACE is a different variant, but the Galils I have seen in the past look vastly different, so I was quite surprised when I first saw this gun. I have to say I would suggest a iTech scope for this. I wouldn't suggest an ACOG because tapping does have quite a bit of recoil. It's not the most tappable gun in the world, but it is actually quite accurate if you're going to tap a single shot and aim for a one-click headshot. So it's useful for that, to say the least. The fire rate of 70 is, it's about average, so I mean, it's just a typical assault rifle. Sometimes we tend to see a 74 to 77 fire rate, 77 being on the highest end of assault rifle, and 74 being kind of what we're seeing in a lot of the newer assault rifles, GP and NX included. NX rare, obviously, and all of those are pre-included because they're, well, special. But the rate of fire of 70 is on par with a lot of the old world SMGs, but even though the 4 points higher on the other assault rifles, not SMGs, but it's on par with a lot of the older style assault rifles, which we were seeing before, you know, a lot of the newer guns started coming out. I guess that kind of is redundant, but yeah. I haven't done a review in quite a while, guys, so I did my Andromalius review a little while ago, a couple hours ago or something like that, so I don't know. I'm still kind of getting back into the game here, but... So like I said before, you can put a suppressor, a scope, and a magazine on this weapon. I don't believe it needs the extended magazine. It seems to have quite a bit of killing capacity on its own with the high damage. There's obviously going to be a little more damage bleed through than the average weapon, so you're going to be able to get accolades a little bit easier than you may be able to otherwise. The rate of fire also helps cover that a bit. The 70 rate of fire is plenty high to be able to get the accolades you need. The portability of 55 is a bit low, so this gun is a little bit heavy. The accuracy of 86 is a little bit above average, though, so that's quite good. Usually you tend to see about an 80 accuracy on assault rifles. The 86 is a little higher, obviously, and is well appreciated. The recoil is 67, although the statistic is not that high, since you typically see between a 65 and a 68 on most assault rifles. It is a little more convenient to see a lower recoil stat. However, the actual pattern of the recoil is quite difficult to manage. It's similar to the G36E. At least it's difficult to manage when you're trying to tap it, especially, but it has if you spray the G36 in scope, you will see that it has a V-shaped pattern. The Galil Ace has that, but the pattern seems to be a little bit stronger, even though the stat isn't a whole lot different than the G36, I don't believe. Let's see. So, yeah, low portability, not something you really necessarily want to have running around with. It's a very powerful rifle, so you get your kills quickly. Very, very, very solid 3-shot kill. The damage drop-off is not the best in the world, but it's pretty low. It's definitely below average, so you're going to be able to get your kills at longer ranges slightly easier. The spread goes up rather slowly, despite the fact that the recoil pattern is quite high. The recoil pattern is high, and that makes this weapon remotely unique. There's a couple of other weapons that have something like that. The MK14 Mod 0 is another example, although I don't think I mentioned it in the review, to be honest. That's actually one review I will be redoing eventually, because I saw my old one, and it's so outdated. It needs to be redone, to be honest. So the gun's been nerfed since I first did the review. That was one of the guns that they released and then nerfed the next day. And since I did the gameplay for the review on the very first day of getting the gun, it looks more OP than it actually is. Not saying it's not a great gun, because the MK14 Mod 0, crazy long name, is a really good gun, but it's just been nerfed since then. It actually got nerfed the day after, so a little bit off topic on that. Sorry I'm getting away from this gun, guys. There's really just not a whole lot to say. It's a relatively early weapon that you unlock, Second Lieutenant 2. Most people will get access to this gun at some point or another, and you will be able to try it. Although it's not one I would particularly be waiting for. Although upon getting to the rank of getting this weapon, I would probably take it into a few games just so I could say, hey, I unlocked it, I'm going to use it for a few times, and then go back to using a G36 or an M416 model. So that's just kind of the way I play. It's a fine gun, and really you could use it in competitive gameplay if you had to, especially given the high damage, but that's really the largest perk of this gun. I would still take a G36 or an M416 model over it. They're just more usable, but that's just my personal opinion. Once again, I'll say I would not put an ACOG scope on this gun. I don't believe tapping is quite that well with this. It doesn't works quite that well with this. The iTech scope for spraying is going to be a lot more beneficial. It's going to be a lot more rewarding. Let's just put it that way. You'll be able to keep your shots more on target. And that's not to say you can't tap with an iTech scope, but just because it does slightly lower your recoil just a little bit, the iTech scope is a little bit easier to manage than the ACOG. That's about all the time I have for this review today, guys. Thank you for watching. Definitely rate, comment, subscribe if you like the video. Drop a like. That's what the rate means. If you didn't know that, drop a like. I really appreciate that. Thank you, and I have a couple other reviews coming out this week and the next few. I'll see you in those reviews, and yeah, catch you next time. Shadolance out.